What's going on, car family? I'm Ben Wayne. Today we are here at Atlanta Classic Cars and we're going to be taking a look at the highly anticipated second generation Acura NSX. Let's briefly talk some history. The first generation NSX was designed to go after Ferrari by offering high performance, more reliability at a much lower price point. It was a clean and simple design. Fast forward several years, we had the second generation Acura NSX, which is larger, heavier. This particular car weighs around 3,800 pounds or so. And as you can see, it has quite a lot of features going on with the exterior design. So today, we're gonna take a look at the exterior and interior design of this supercar and see how this ride has been engineered for excellence. Let's start off the review by talking about the space frame of this ultra high-tech supercar. The space frame consists of ultra high strength steel tubing, aluminum castings, stampings, and extrusions. And this combination provides an overall rigid ride which prevents any flex while you're on the track. The exterior design, when compared to the first generation NSX, is extremely angular. But it doesn't just deal with how air travels over the car, it also deals with how air travels through the car. Coming towards the front of the Acura NSX, you'll notice twin heat extractor vents located on top of the hood. These channel air that has been channeled through the grille, past the twin motor units, and again out through these heat extractor vents. We'll talk about the twin motor units in a little bit more detail later in the review. Let's take a look at the side profile of the NSX. And I want to point out that everything on this car has to be as functional as possible to keep the drag coefficient to a minimum. With that being said, you have side view mirrors that also serve to help channel air directly into the intakes to cool the turbo intercoolers. You also have a flush door handle, which helps promote undisturbed flow into the intakes as well. An important feature of the NSX that we need to discuss that affects the driving dynamics are the magnetorheological dampers. These dampers can adjust up to 1,000 times per second. They are filled with a magnetorheological fluid that is subject to a magnetic field. This magnetic field is induced by an electromagnet. When the magnetorheological fluid is exposed to a magnetic field, the viscosity is able to change, thus allowing the yield stress of the fluid to change. This allows you to be able to control the fluid's ability to transmit force. In addition to the magnetorheological dampers, the NSX also features a sport handling all-wheel drive system that incorporates true torque vectoring. And when I say true torque vectoring, I'm not referencing torque vectoring claims from other manufacturers. When they claim torque vectoring, they mean that they're able to apply the brake on the rear inside wheel of the car while it's turning, thus causing a torque shift on the vehicle, getting the vehicle aligned on a better vector suited for the turn. When NSX claims true torque vectoring, they are referencing the twin motor units up front that are able to independently control the torque of the two front wheels. Think of this as a Segway, a hoverboard, or a wheelchair. When the right wheel is spinning faster than the left wheel, it will cause the device to turn to the left. Acura has applied this to the NSX using the twin motor units that are able to independently control the torque of the front wheels. This allows the car to start accelerating out of a curve earlier than a car that would not have torque vectoring. Since we talked about how the front wheels are able to be controlled independently, let's go ahead and hop into the wheel, tire, and brake setup. You're getting the 19-inch interwoven wheels up front, 20 inches in the rear. They're shod in Continentals that are 245 up front and 305 in the rear. Up front, your carbon ceramic brakes are 15 inches in diameter and grasped by a 6-piston caliper. In the rear, your carbon ceramics are 14 inches in diameter and grasped by a 4-piston caliper. Now, the combination of carbon ceramic brakes and this lightweight interwoven wheel helps reduce the unsprung mass of the vehicle. Unsprung mass is considered the mass of the tires, wheels, brakes, and suspension components of the vehicle. This is extremely important because surface imperfections in the road will result in tire compression, thus placing a force on the unsprung mass. The unsprung mass will then in turn respond with a force of its own. Now, the amount of movements due to surface imperfection in the road is inversely proportional to the vehicle's unsprung mass. With that being said, the lighter the setup, the more grip and constant grip the car will have. If you have a heavier setup, you increase the chances for wheel hop during heavy braking and hard acceleration. In the engine compartment of the Acura NSX, you will find a 3.5-liter V6 producing 500 horsepower. Now it's used in combination with 3 separate motors in the vehicle. The first motor we want to talk about is literally attached to the drive shaft, so it's considered a direct drive motor. That's going to eliminate any sensation of turbo lag whatsoever. Now you also have the twin motor units up front that are used for true torque vectoring, which we discussed earlier. The total output of this system is 573 horsepower. 0 to 60 comes in 2.9 seconds, and the top speed has been electronically limited to 191 miles per hour. Now let's hear how the exhaust system sounds. So after listening to the exhaust note, leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think and how you think it sounds. In my personal opinion, it leaves just a little bit more to be desired. So we talked about the exterior characteristics of the car. Let's close the latch and go check out the interior. Sitting inside the NSX is extremely comfortable, but one of the first things you'll notice is the amazing view from within inside the car, and that's due to the A-pillars being extremely thin. So that greatly increases the visibility when compared to other cars of this caliber. The interior is finished in soft touch materials. Everything is top notch. The top of the dash is finished in this smooth leather. You have your touchscreen infotainment system, and then coming further down, you have this knob which allows you to switch between hybrid, sport, sport plus, and track modes. You also have buttons for your gear selector such as park, reverse, and drive, and there's also a button to drive in manual mode. The steering wheel has this oblong shape. It's finished in smooth black leather and has this flat carbon fiber finish, which looks really nice and feels great to the touch. Behind the steering wheel, you also have nice sized aluminum paddles in case you want to drive in manual mode. The seats are extremely plush. They keep you hugged in because they have aggressive side bolstering as well. And they also look sharp with the Alcantara finish with contrast red stitching to match the red leather as well. Everything about the interior in general is just absolutely on point. And one thing I want to point out is that even though this car doesn't have a sunroof and it's not convertible, with this large view with the thin A-pillars, the cabin still feels airy. Let's go check out the door panels. The top of the door panel is finished in smooth black leather, and it has contrast gray stitching, and then you have silver accents. One thing I love about the door panel is this nice large black Alcantara portion that looks great against this red leather here. You have buttons for your power windows and side view mirrors. That was a brief tour of the second generation Acura NSX. Let me know in the comment section what you think about the overall design of this car. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. My personal problem with this vehicle is that there's no direct lineage to the first generation Acura NSX. Had I not been told that this was an Acura NSX, or if this wasn't badged as an Acura NSX, I personally would not be able to recognize it as an Acura NSX. Let me know in the comment section what you think. This car still does have amazing performance capabilities, 0 to 60 in 2.9, top speed electronically limited of 191 miles per hour. So those performance specs are pretty impressive. Thank you guys for watching this video. Special thanks to Atlanta Classic Cars for allowing me to come out and film the Acura NSX. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.